Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
What is going on? It's your boy Preston, Phat Samurai Guy, back again with another video. Hanging out with the two legends. They have returned. The master of Remaster. Here he is, Frank Djeng. Welcome back, brother.
Thank
and
you.
Kung Fu Santa. He is a marvel. He is a marvel. That's right. Kung Fu Santa himself, RIC MEYERS. Welcome back, brother. How are
Kung
you?
Fu Marvel. Kung Fu.
Yes, Kung Fu Marvel. Yes, yes.
Mr. Marvel.
Yes, Mr. Marvel. Yeah. Well, it's good to see everybody back and everybody watching right now. That's right. Hey, Tino, what is going on? Good to see everybody watching because we are talking sci-fi today, baby, because we love our action, we love our martial arts, we love our horror, but we're doing sci-fi.
No,
we're going to talk about.
You're talking sci-fi. I'm talking science fiction.
Ah, okay. Look at that. Different. But before we get started, we're going to rewind a little bit to a little bit of some more action-oriented content before we get into the science fiction. We got a little special message from somebody.
My name is Silvio Simac. I need your help. Click on the Indiegogo link below.
What? That's right. The legend himself, Silvio Simac. That's right. Right now, the contract is on Indiegogo. Check the link in the description. We have a plethora of amazing talent involved. Nick Blade Khan, Ron Smorenberg, and Silvio Simac. And soon to be announced many more. So check out the link and support independent cinema, baby. We got to get this movie made and get it out there. Yes. So click on that link below for the contract. Yes.
Yeah. Cynthia Rothrock is leading the way. She just finished filming her movie, also independently financed. Yeah. And she's ecstatic. And I'm ecstatic because now all these guys, everybody will follow her lead.
Yes, yes. And hopefully we can get the contract off the ground. What is going on? We got Kevin from the entertainment headquarters. What's going on there? David Hurd, good to see everyone. Severio, yes. And Rhett, good to see everyone here. And Tyler, yes. All right, so we're going to kick it off in the little sci-fi faction here. And we're going to talk about everyone's most anticipated movie of 2023.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
It's a joke.
Least anticipated. Yeah.
It's comedy. Here we go. The Marvels. You guys know I did not see it, but Frank and Rick has seen it. Thoughts? We will start with Frank. Go ahead, brother.
Really? Okay. Well, you know,
yeah, Frank, beauty before age.
Beauty before age. So, you know, I mean, like by now, you know, if you are, I mean, we were at what 34 movies in now, so by now you're either with Marvel or you're not, right? So, and to me, this film really personalized what I like and I don't like about Marvel in general.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
And it's almost like a love-hate relationship, you know, like you know, and, you know, like after seeing so many stuff, following all these TV series and all that stuff, you want their movie to be successful, every single one of them, right? So this year, you know, Ant-Man sucks. I'm sorry, that movie sucks.
Yes.
Although the story itself is actually okay, you know, the story at least play it out.
Yeah.
Guardian of the Galaxy, fantastic movie. And then now we'll come to this one. So first off, you don't really need to see all those TV series to really appreciate this film. Although it would be nice for you to have seen, at the very least,
Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel, yeah. Because it didn't, you know, because you need to watch Ms. Marvel to familiar yourself with not just the character, but also her family and all that stuff. Because this film does not tell you who they are; they just put you right into her world, right? So you do need a little bit of familiarity with that series. But other than that, you don't really need to. I mean, go ahead.
Also, it would help with WandaVision for the other Marvel.
Right, the WandaVision for just knowing the fact that she has supernatural powers.
For the Rambo character,
and the Rambo, the Monica Rambo character. So, but to me, I mean, having watched Ms. Marvel is a bit more important than WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, look, I had fun with this movie. I thought it was fun. It was very lighthearted. It was very airy, and I think her name is Iman Vellani.
Yes.
Yeah, so Iman Vellani was great. I think she's probably one of the best actress, most recent best actress in this Marvel universe.
Okay.
And the fact that she looked up to Robert Downey Jr., showed great promise.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
She said her real life idol was Robert Downey Jr., and then Iron Man is her favorite Marvel film. So that I think that bodes well for her, both as a character and as an actress. Special effects are fine. I thought Ant-Man special effects were horrible, very CG, just flat. Here, I saw it IMAX 3D, and the 3D was just beautiful. Lots of layering, nice depth, nice layering, and the special effects looks fine. And the action sequence, particularly, it's too bad that the best action sequence happened in the opening like 20 minutes of the film with that nice little fight where they were switching simultaneously between locations, because they somehow got this power to change location stuff. That was a fantastic fight. I thought that was as good as something like coming straight out from like a Hong Kong cinema thing. I mean, it reminded me of a Hong Kong cinema fight scene.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good. But then the film kind of went a little bit slightly downhill from there, and there's some silly moments which I really don't think jive with the film, especially with that singing sequence. And my main problem with this film was it really didn't move the narrative of the Phase 5 forward that much until the last two scenes, the final scene, and the mid-credit scene. And I tell you what I thought. Okay, well, the main thing was the villain was horrible. I mean, the depiction of the villain was horrible. Very stupid. Yeah, I mean, she was just your typical Marvel villain out to destroy a planet and that crap. It would have been so much, and also the fact that they hardly did it, and they did a piss poor job relating this film to the first Captain Marvel film. I mean, this was supposedly a sequel, right? This is really Captain Marvel too. Now, what they should have done, I thought, was in the beginning we showed the Darban, the villain character, as a kid, seeing what happened to her planet, right, and heard about the Annihilator, all that stuff, right? But we don't know who that was. We don't know who did that to the planet. Only later on, like after she grew up and all that stuff, that we find out that the Annihilator was actually Captain Marvel, who destroyed the AI and all that stuff. And so he gave her a much more convincing motive for her revenge for whatever she wanted to do, right? She wanted to get back to Captain Marvel because she screwed up her planet. I think that would have been a much better way to pave the path for the villain's motive. Here, you just like put her there, say, we find this thing, we're going to destroy Captain Marvel, take the planet back. Well, really without much of a motivation, didn't go deep into her motivation. That's what I'm trying to say. But other than that, it was a nice little 100-minute film. It's not long. It doesn't drag. Action moves slow. It flows very kind of fast. And again, like I said, that to me, the opening action sequence, the effects, and that final scene kind of made me a little bit more excited about what's going to come. I mean, if in fact that's what they're going to do with that two, the final scene and the mid-credit scene.
Yes. Now, here's the situation. I'm glad we were delayed for a week, because my review of this movie would have been slightly different last week than it is today. Because a lot happened over the last week. Ultimately, people are beginning to see that this is not as bad as everybody said it was originally, because it's better than Thor: Love and Thunder. It's better than Secret Invasion. It's better than Quantumania. So they're saying, everybody just calm down. And here's the other thing. Bob Iger was interviewed this week. And I attribute all the flaws of this movie, of which there are many, because we're not even really actually seeing the movie that was being made over the last 3 years. And in the last 3 years, there was somebody different heading Disney. And the person who was heading Disney for the last 3 years couldn't have done a better job sabotaging Disney if he was paid for it. My theory is that Chapek, the previous CEO, was being paid by all the other studios in Hollywood to sabotage Disney, because he could not have done a better job. And this week, Bob Iger said, we have to start concentrating on quality, not quantity, and we have to get our focus back. We have lost our focus. And I've been saying this all along, because it really looked like Feige and Iger had the magic formula, because they did it up until Endgame, and then suddenly they throw all that out. They just throw it away, and it just didn't make any sense. It was like, we want this to be ruined. We want to destroy this. So the Marvels, you can clearly see if you're a filmmaker or even a veteran film watcher the way we are, you can see that this is a lot like Love and Thunder in that it's 3 different movies crammed together. And they don't really do a lot of connections. And sometimes they just, it's funny. It was like watching a beloved child doing their little act or their acrobatic act. You go to their school to watch their show, and then it's just not going the way it should be going. There's something going wrong. So I wasn't angry at this movie. I was only disappointed. And I was disappointed whenever something contrived happened. Contrivance in movie is my least favorite thing. The scene where Nick Fury takes Ms. Marvel's family up to outer space. It's like, okay, once they get to outer space, it's fun. We've got the Flurgles, we got the cats, we got all that stuff. But there's absolutely no reason for him to bring them to outer space. Absolutely none.
Well, they sort of explain because their house is destroyed again. But no, I agree with you. It doesn't make sense. Also,
it doesn't. And a lot of the movies don't make sense. The other thing, Rambeau's entire motivation in this film, like the villain, is contrived. It's entirely and utterly contrived. They just want to have something move things along. Everything moves along. There's no depth. But of course, Ms. Marvel and the actress who plays her, she can't save the movie, but she kind of does. I mean, she's just a breath of fresh air the whole time. The thing moves along, and it's just a nice filler. And again, it's not as bad as those other things. So there is hope. I'm really hoping, because one of my big complaints all along was the way I'm watching the girl who plays America Ferrara from Multiverse of Madness. Also, it's better than Multiverse of Madness. As far as I'm concerned, The Marvels is better than Multiverse of Madness, too. And so the idea that she and America
Chavez,
and Hawkeyes, are going to be in the Young Avengers is thrilling to me.
Oh yeah!
Again, a whole movie full of fresh air. That would be, and also the X-Men coming back and the Fantastic Four coming back, and hopefully with Feige in full control, with Iger's backing. And again, only one Marvel movie next year, only one, giving them time to get back to basics. So
which Marvel movies next year?
Deadpool
3.
Deadpool 3.
Okay.
And that's going to set up things big time. That's really going to, and also
that's probably the only one where I'm like really intrigued. Like,
but also
fingers
the other
crossed.
Extremely hopeful thing that happened this week was the final episode of Loki.
Don't say it. I haven't seen it. Don't spoil it. But
all I'll say to you, Frank, is OMG.
Yeah, no. Loki, I've seen the first 3 episodes of season 2 so far. I love it. I think it's a fantastic.
Well, you ain't seen nothing yet.
All right, good.
That last episode is just like, I embrace the television. I kiss the screen.
No, I want to bring back to your point about Nick Fury. Exactly. That's another one of my major complaints about this film was the sort of like the degrading of
the continuing degrading,
right?
Because Secret Invasion just completely fucked him.
Yeah, I mean to have him from this badass mofo, comic relief is very concerning.
And this idiot in Secret Invasion. So it's very concerning. But hopefully they'll get their act together now.
Yeah,
Chapek's gone out.
Black girl magic.
But I mean, like every line he says is like trying to be funny. It's like you don't need that. And then again, another thing is I don't understand. Okay, I know that the Marvel families, her house got destroyed from that opening great fight scene. But why move them all the way to Louisiana? She's supposed to go back to school. What about her parents' work, or what about her brother? They're all supposed to have jobs there, or what have you. So why all of a sudden they moved from Jersey to Louisiana? It doesn't make any sense. And they didn't explain it,
No, it's not my favorite movie. My favorite review I heard of this movie, which I think is very accurate, was by my friend Matthias, who said, it's fun shit. And it's like, But it is fun, and it is better than those Secret
So
Invasion.
it's good bad. It's good bad.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not bad. It's not great.
Okay.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. And
it's fun.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt the overall Phase 5 narrative.
And Ms. Marvel is great.
And she's, I mean, it's worth seeing it just for her alone. You know, Iman Vellani is fantastic.
And by the way, I like the musical number because they established that on the Ms. Marvel series. But what I didn't like is that then they didn't fight to music.
Exactly.
I always wanted them to fight. If they're going to be all music and they can't do anything without music, their fighting should be musical too.
No, I agree. And or like they should be singing while they were fighting. You know?
Yeah, I was disappointed by that.
That was
Anyway,
but financially, it didn't do well, right?
Yes, but I think it's going to be like Elementals. I'm pretty sure because now I've been seeing a lot of people going, it's really not that bad.
Oh.
And unless people want to go see the movies that are coming out next week, I think it may be like Elementals and Zootopia and make more money its second week than it did the first.
I think that was exactly what's happening right now. I think I just read an article about it, and they were surprised by the box office like today.
Yeah. Because the word went out, because I've been saying all these years in action film autopsy that the audience is always right. And you can always tell from what the audience does. And if your friends come to you and say, no, it really wasn't that bad. Because now, because of social media, everybody hates everything. Everybody loves everything.
Yep.
I mean, when you look at the reviews for the Marvels that came out of the theater, again, it's the same thing you always get. Some people absolutely loved it. Some people absolutely hated it. And usually you have to wait for people human beings who are not being paid by the studio to actually see it and tell you what they think.
And see it in 3D if you can, because 3D was actually very well done.
Okay, I don't care. Anyway, let's get on to the main subject. Enough about the Marvels.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right,
let me put on my new jacket.
Okay. I'll wait till you come back.
No, I'm here. I'm right here. I have my jacket.
Oh, okay. All right. New jacket there.
Let me show you my jacket. This was given to me when I was a guest of honor and the media specialist at the World Science Fiction Convention in LA, the third LA World Science Fiction Convention.
How many years is that?
Oh, long time ago. I can't even remember how long ago that was.
Still in very good shape.
Oh, it's excellent shape. I've been wearing it a lot in this autumn time. But in any case, yeah, they got this for me and they gave it to me, and it's the LA Con. Oops, wrong. This one. Here we go. Yes, LA Con 3.
All right.
So that's, again, I'm the science fiction guy, not the sci-fi guy. The science fiction guy.
Yes.
I wrote this book, The Great Science Fiction Films, also many years ago. And I wrote Doomstar, my son. Oh yeah, look at this. They gave me this too.
Ooh.
It's sold well enough that I got one of these. A Renegade Trio. And also, I think, I don't know if I told you this story. I had a meeting many years ago in the 80s with Disney, who wanted to talk to me about buying this book.
Yeah.
And so I came in and I talked to them, and then they didn't buy the book, but suddenly all sorts of pieces of this book starts appearing in other movies. In their movies, in Last Jedi, and in Treasure Planet. Yeah.
That cover's amazing. That cover's amazing.
Oh, that's by the great Don Mates. It's really, it's awesome. And also people are still sending me lovely letters about that. So I was an editor for Starlog magazine, and so I've had a great history. Oh yeah, and I wrote the Chinese space station chapters in William Shatner's last science fiction novel.
Wow! All right.
And he mentions, I can say that because he mentions me in the book.
There you go.
What was the title again?
It's called Grounds. What is it called? It's called Zero G.
Okay.
Jeff Robin and William Shatner, Zero G, a novel.
Spock. Yeah.
Fascinating, Captain.
Look at that. Nice, Frank.
And William Shatner taught me how to interview people when I was working for Starlog. He was the one who always said, remember, it's not about you. It's about the person. He said, it's not about you. It's about me. Don't tell me about you.
Classic
Ask
Shatner.
me about me. And I went, you're absolutely right, Bill.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, so I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to be short and sweet. And then we're going to go to Frank and Rick. So really quickly, I'm starting with honorable mentions. Phat Samurai Guy's honorable mentions here. So we're going to go. I'll start at the bottom here. These are my honorable mentions. Pacific Rim, Flash Gordon, Equilibrium, Event Horizon, Avengers Infinity War / Endgame, Pandorum, yes, Moon, Hardware, Cube, They Live. Yes, those are my honorable mentions.
Those are all honorable mentions?
Yeah, those are just my honorable mentions, just for fun.
Pretty
all right,
good.
so my top 10 sci-fi. I'm going to start with number 10, The Invisible Man, the original. Yes, The Invisible Man. Blade Runner, number 9.
Damn.
Number 8, Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country.
What?
Number 7, Back to the Future. All right. Number 6, District 9. Number 5, Dark City. Yes. Number 4, The Blob from the 80s, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Number 3, Alien. Number 2, The Thing. And number 1, Empire Strikes Back. That's my number 1 sci-fi movie. Now, action sci-fi. And then we'll head over to Frank. Number 10, The Matrix. Number 9, Edge of Tomorrow. Number 8, Total Recall. Recall. Number 7, Looper. Number 6, Starship Troopers. Number 5, Upgrade. Number 4, RoboCop. Number 3, Terminator 2 / Terminator. Number 2, Aliens. And number 1, because you know I'm biased. Predator, baby. Number 1 for the old samurai.
Your head covered it, so we couldn't see it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Still got
There we go.
Okay, all right. Okay, now, yeah.
Yeah, Movie Dojo Army, they know me. They know me well. So, yeah. All right, now we got Phat's picks out of the way. Frank, you were up. You guys have your lists in front of you, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All
So
right.
are we doing sci-fi first? I guess.
Yeah, do sci-fi first, Frank.
Okay, so my top 10 from number 10 is a tie. Is 2010, 2010, and Peter. I'm a Peter Hyams fan. What can I say? And I thought that was a good sequel. I thought it was great. Obviously some mystery should never have been, explained in that film. But I really loved the final 20 minutes. I mean, that whole final 20 minutes was great, especially when, when they're trying to rescue. When they're trying to hide the fact from Hal that they're in danger and all that. I think that whole sequence, I thought it was just fantastic. People were like, people had tears in their eye when I saw it in the theater. So anyway, so that's number 10, but it's actually tied with the 1984 version of Doom, the David Lynch version. I thought it's very good. It was great world building, great images. I remember at that time, I think it was Roger Ebert or somebody who said it was like the worst movie of that year. And I loved it. I mean, I loved it the moment I saw it. I just think that, David Lynch created this wonderful world. It's a great visualization of the novel. So that's tie. So a little bit, yeah, I just try to fit in. So it's tie number 10. So number 9, Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Wonderful film. John Carpenter, great atmosphere, great
music.
Snake. Call me Snake, I thought you were taller. But anyway, great film, very atmospheric, low budget, but it's great. Again, I've talked many times in our previous show that I like, when a sci-fi film does great world building, that for me, that can go a long way. So number 9 for this. Number 8, Minority Report with Tom Cruise. Wonderful.
Good Lord.
All
right.
Hey,
it's your picks, Frank.
We're Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, we're Siskel and Ebert.
You're doing thumbs up. I'm doing woo.
So anyway, yeah, for not so obviously, but no, I enjoy Minority Report, and I also like the fact that final 20 minutes it can be, it's so ambiguous. You can thought of it as either real or it's all in his dream. That final, final 20 minutes or so. But anyway, so again, great world building, great effects, great music, strings only. John Williams was trying to imitate Bernard Herrmann, so the soundtrack for this film has no other instrument, just strings. So I thought that was a nice little touch. Number 7, Blade Runner 2049. Good continuation of the story. A bit long, but still, again, great world building. And also introduce us to the wonderful girl who would, Anna, who will eventually become Bond girl in No Time to Die, and I thought she was fantastic. Number 6, THX 1138. Again, very dystopian future, very stark, very very dark, down, depressing film, which I don't usually like in my sci-fi, and yeah, and I mean, I just think in many ways, I thought this was George Lucas' best film. Number 5, Close Encounter of the Third Kind. Just a nice build up to the final sequence, which it didn't disappoint, because it was a very nice suspenseful build up, and you expecting something great at the end. And again, Spielberg didn't disappoint us. Number 4, Dark City. Hey, yeah, no, fantastic film. Love this film. I mean, again, world building, original sci-fi. William Hurt and Jennifer Connelly. Come on, great art direction too. So top 3, number 3, the new Dune movie. Again, great world building, and I think it's a fantastic realization of the novel, because obviously he has more time than David Lynch. He didn't have as much of the trouble in making that film as David Lynch did, so he was able to expand his world much more, spend more time, explore more things in the novel, put it in the film. And it's too bad that part 2 got delayed. That's all I can say. And I was really hoping to see it, but oh well, we'll see it in March. So that's number 3. Number 2, Blade Runner. Great classic. And finally, my number 1 sci-fi movie,
Howard the Duck.
What?
Howard the Duck.
Howard
the Duck, right? Howard
the Duck. Yeah, that's my number 1 movie. No,
that's not a science fiction.
That's
not even sci-fi film.
It's not. It's got aliens in it.
No. My number 1 sci-fi film will always be 2001: A Space Odyssey. The first time I saw this film, it was in the worst condition. I actually saw it on TV, on a local syndication channel, showing it in full screen, not letterbox. And even though that was the condition that I saw this film in for the first time, I was just mesmerized. And whenever there's a chance, I always go see this in the movie theater. I've seen this in the movie theater at least 4 times now. Just like with San Francisco Symphony, they play the score live, and then they show it in IMAX twice, and then they show it once in like 70 millimeter. I mean, to me, that's just probably the greatest sci-fi film ever made.
We watched it in 4K, and that was my first time seeing it. I've never seen it before, and when we watched it in 4K here at the house, we were like blown away. We were like, how old is this movie?
I know, exactly.
The special effects are like better than some of the films today. Like, it's insane.
It's insane. It's timeless. I mean, it was made in 1968.
Yeah, another great example of a movie being made for the brain as well as the eyes.
Yes.
Because that ties in. And so now let me do my top 10, then we can go to the action ones.
Really quick. Just a quick reminder for everyone. Here on the channel, me and Frank have dissected and reviewed Blade Runner 2049, the Dune as well, and the original Blade Runner. So if you guys want to hear what we thought about the film in detail, check out those reviews here on the channel. All right. So are we going to go to yours, Rick, or you want to go to his?
All right. No, that way we can go back and forth.
Sounds good. Let me bring it up here.
Yeah. Because we're doing science, then we'll do the action stuff. All right. So while you're doing that, I will say that it was interesting. I was very lucky to have been born at the end of the golden age of science fiction literature. And basically I read every mystery book published and in the library, and every science fiction book. I would always read science fiction, mystery, and at my height I was reading 5 books a week. And I would clear out the school library, I would clear out the town library. I read every single science fiction book, every single mystery book, and until 1975. Because basically both genres started to stumble and die as books. They're still being published, but nobody's doing anything original because everything had been done before. And so I followed the literary aspects of the great thinking. And also I was able to start writing nonfiction books on science fiction film and my own science fiction novels, and it was incredibly, and all the other authors were incredibly supportive and very smart and very nice. So that's what I was gravitating to when I was seeing the movies. I wanted to see movies that reflected what these books were doing. And what was interesting is I was really excited about going to see Minority Report because it was a science fiction mystery. It was a policeman in the future and all the rest of it. And I was stunned by how incredibly stupid it was. It has some of the most stupid stuff in it. And I mean, I did lectures on Minority Report. I would tell my film students at the University of Bridgeport every single thing that made no sense in that movie. And there was a lot of it.
Was it the ending?
The ending was part of it, but there are stupid things throughout. There's so many stupid things in that movie that just don't make any sort of logical sense that while I'm watching it, I'm going, and the mystery is awful. The mystery is just so dumb. So in any case, I just wanted to get off that. That's why I did this when you mentioned that it's one of your best.
Well, let me ask you, do you think that final sequence, was it in his mind or did it actually happen?
It was irrelevant whether it was in his mind or real, because the whole movie, I was hoping the whole movie was, well, no, the whole movie, when I go to a movie, I expect the movie to exist on its own basis while I'm in the theater. Because as soon as I leave, I go, well, that was a movie. So I don't expect it to be real. I mean, I'm going to be mentioning a movie that I thought was everything that Minority Report wasn't. And we'll get to that when I get to it in the list. And again, it doesn't matter what the character thinks. It's a matter what the filmmaker makes me feel or think. So the fact that you couldn't decide whether that was real or not showed me it's just another bad thing about the movie. In other words, that is a contrivance when they do that kind of thing to the audience, when it's clear that the filmmakers don't know what they're doing and just want to say, was it real? Was it fake? It's like, no, you tell me. It's not my job to tell you. So be that as it may. Let me start. I'm not going to go from best to worst. I'm going to go through my list via the dates they were released. I'm going through it chronologically.
Yeah.
And so 2 years before I was born, The Day the Earth Stood Still came out, which is one of the great brain science fiction films.
Look at that shot.
Yeah, I mean, this is
it's amazing.
Yeah, again, all of these things are just classic, and this is directed by one of the great he's not really underrated, but he should have been, because he was so versatile. People haven't given him the due that they give to David Lean or Stanley Kubrick or whatever. This is Robert Wise. And also because one of his last films was the Star Trek movie, where he was totally cut off at the knees. He's not remembered. But he also made the Andromeda Strain, which is not on my list, but is another great science fiction
film.
movie.
Andromeda Strain.
And so is The Day the Earth Stood Still. That also will hold up. Number two, the movie that set the stage for Star Wars and especially Star Trek, and that's Forbidden Planet, 1956. I mean, very, very clearly, Gene Roddenberry was inspired by this movie, and it is a Star Trek movie before Star Trek. The captain there's Leslie Nielsen as the captain before he started doing his comedy, playing it completely straight.
I thought that was him. I was going to ask you.
Yeah, and because he played in a lot of straight movies before.
Right.
He did Airplane, and this was one where he was playing clearly the pattern for Captain Kirk. So another great film. Then the big one. I mean, I love the British stuff because the British always there's a reason that Doctor Who started in 1962 in England, because they have a great love and they have great, great cerebral science fiction authors. And Quatermass and the Pit came out in 1967. There are a whole series. Quatermass was mostly seen on television in continuing limited series shows, and they were always pushing the envelope. And this is a movie version of the original Quatermass in the Pit television series, which talked about an alien race many millennia ago brought humans to Earth, and the stuff that is created in humans' minds when they realize this happened. It's a wonderful little movie, and I saw it the first day I went to college. Again, another great thing about all these movies is they all established wonderful cinematic experiences for me. See, I don't care that much whether it's 3D or whether it's IMAX, but the theater experience for these movies, before VFX has taken over, when everything was done real, was done practically, seeing it in the theater was always an amazing experience. So I spent 7 hours walking around Boston when I went for my first day at Emerson College. And I wandered into Cambridge and I discovered the Orson Welles Cinema. And they were showing this movie the day I arrived in Boston. And I went in and saw it. And I was so thrilled. It was I think 6 miles away from where I was staying on Beacon Hill. And I ran all the way home because this movie was so exciting to me.
Why did you run home?
Because I was so excited. I couldn't contain myself. It was just, remember, I was an 18-year-old fellow. Okay. You know, it was like, it was just an amazing. That set the standard for my college experience, and I love Boston as a college town. And then oh my gosh, 1968 is the prime year for science fiction for me.
You did it! You blew it up!
You bastards! Well, this came out. It was like what Steven Spielberg did with Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. That came out the same year. This came out the same year as the greatest science fiction movie of all time, 2001: A Space Odyssey. I saw 2001 first, but I'm putting this first. I saw them both at the Cinerama Cinema in Times Square, New York, which doesn't exist anymore. And it was one of the great movie theaters of all time. I walked in and they had recreated the garden of the great ape master. They have it in the movie where you have the kids all playing around the statue of the great ape master. And they recreated it in the lobby of the Cinerama Theater.
Wow.
And it was a huge theater, beautifully appointed. And again, when that ending came, Charlton Heston, all the apes, again, legitimate science fiction. Franklin Schaffner, who also made Patton. And then I came back. My dad brought me the next time, 2001. We had to get advance tickets. Everybody had their own seat, like going to the theater. And so the next movie is 2001: A Space Odyssey. We were sitting in the front row of the balcony. And when that opening shot hit, my father had turned and looked at me because he could see I was slowly leaning forward. I was about to go off the balcony because it was the Cinerama Theater. And by the way, Frank, you think this was better than 3D. This was better than that. That was, I mean, it was a real 3D cinema. It was, it just completely covered my vision. Right. Yeah. And I was just being drawn to that shot when the moon and the earth and the sun, I was just like, I almost fell off the balcony. And the rest of the movie was just super amazing. And I remember I had already read all these novels. I had read all the works of Arthur C. Clarke. Arthur C. Clarke did not write 2001: A Space Odyssey as a book until the movie. Then he wrote Childhood's End, a short story that the movie was based on. Then he wrote the novel. But I'd read all his other novels. I'd read all this, Robert Heinlein, Isaac Asimov, everybody. And so at the end of the movie, I was just, this was a real science fiction movie. It was just awesome. I completely understood it. And I went into the bathroom at the end, and all these other people from New York was in the bathroom at the urinals going, I don't get it. Do you get it? I don't know what the hell's happening here. Why do they suddenly turn south? I don't know. I should make them New York guys. Hey, I don't get it. I don't get this thing at all. And I'm standing at my urinal going, what? It's obvious.
It's so obvious. I mean, I haven't read the novel, but it was so obvious. I mean, he was trapped in the alien zoo, you know. I mean,
yeah. But again, I saw it when it came out.
Wow.
There wasn't anything like it at the time, except Forbidden Planet, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Planet of the Apes. So
but Rick, look at the impact this movie had on all three of us.
Yes.
You saw it at all three different times.
Right.
And you'll notice that it's very important because nobody copied it except 2010, which I always call a Dick and Jane version of 2001.
Frank, I have not seen the sequel. Should I watch it?
Yes, of course you should.
You should.
Okay.
2010 is the movie for those guys in the bathroom. Because it says, this is what that movie is about. This is what it's about.
This is why Hal went nuts.
Yes, this is what this means. Am I talking too fast for you?
This is why you see that computer malfunction.
Yes. This is 2010 explains 2001 for people who didn't get it.
But I thought the final third of the movie really kind of redeemed itself.
Well, okay. But it's not enough for me. The whole movie has to be great. As I was going to say, and also I judge science fiction movies on whether it still works if you take the visuals away. If you take the visuals away and it still works, then it's a good movie. But if you need the visuals and you need the last 10 minutes to make it work, I'm sort of like going, not good enough for me, the stickler.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then you'll see the huge gap. Planet of the Apes and 2001 was 1968. My next favorite science fiction, and I'm biased, was 11 years later, which was Alien. And again, that was a spectacular experience. I was working at Starlog magazine. I was working at Famous Monsters of Filmland, and I was working with Warren Publishing, who had the tie-in to do the official Alien magazine, which I was the head writer of. And so I got to go to the set in England. I got to interview everybody. I got along extremely well with H.R. Giger. Oh, that was unforgettable. I go visit him because he's here for the premiere. We all went to the premiere too. He's here for the premiere with his wonderful French wife, and he's at a suite at the Sherry Netherland, and he's talking to me, and he's on the sofa, and I'm facing him on the sofa. He's on the sofa, I'm on the seat, and behind him, his wife is getting ready for the premiere. And she's getting ready for the premiere by taking off her shirt, by taking off her bra, and she just goes back and forth from, and I'm trying to look directly at Giger because his wife is just walking by, naked as a jaybird. And it's like going, I love the foreigners. In any case, and then we saw the movie. I know it's a knockoff. I know it's a horror movie. But it's so well done and so many great science fiction concepts and holds together. And the first major female hero. So love that. And then, of course, I also, the reason I don't talk about the sequel now is because that's on my action list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this was more of a horror movie than an action movie, but it was very cerebral, very smart, very strong, very good. Then the next two are my science fiction, my Star Treks that aren't action movies, which is 2 and 4, which are the best ones. We were at the premiere of 1 as well, because I thought Douglas Trumbull was in attendance at number 1, and he said, and I said, oh my God, it's Douglas Trumbull, the guy who did the special effects for 2001: Space Odyssey, and I talked to him about that. And he said, yeah, I was brought in to save this movie, not this one, but number 1, Star Trek number 1, because the Robert Abel, who was supposed to be doing the special effects, couldn't do special effects and just spent millions upon millions of dollars and didn't have 1 inch of usable footage. So they brought in Douglas Trumbull at the last possible second to do as much as he could. So that was an amazing experience. And then finally, Wrath of Khan. Yeah,
I had to do it once.
And then, yeah, there we go. Yeah, and William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, and just great emotion and great saving of the film. And then Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, also just wonderful, loving movie with the whole gang, and it was just great. Now,
hold on.
next,
I just want to cut in real quick on Star Trek 4.
yeah, please.
I always regret them not being able to shoot that scene with the young Zulu or the grandfather of Zulu. Remember,
right?
The scene where they had Zulu was supposed to meet up with his great grandfather, whatever, as a kid in Chinatown.
Right.
But the kid was the kid just couldn't. The kid was too excited or too scared, kept crying or whatever, and so Nimmo had no choice, have to cut that scene. They couldn't shoot that scene, so that scene was discarded. And I always wish that they could have been, they would have been able to, shoot that scene.
Oh, absolutely. And again, you look at that. Star Trek was so far ahead of everybody. Look at that crew, all different races, all different sexes, all the rest of it. Very far ahead, very smart, and very loving, which is something else. The next movie is similar to some of the movies that you mentioned in your honorary mentions, Phat. And again, my example of Darren Aronofsky, I think his first film was this one, Pi.
I still have not seen this. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
There is a moment in this movie that, again, I just was totally blown away by, because, again, this is all mind candy. It's a very cheap film.
Okay.
It's very tacky looking, but it works so powerfully because it's all ideas. I was told when I was starting to write science fiction, one of the authors said, science fiction is just like everything else. Writing is just putting words together. But in science fiction, you get a choice of so many more words. There's so many more you can use in science fiction. And you also know science fiction is powerful because as soon as you put science fiction in a romance or in a mystery or in an action, it becomes science fiction.
Right.
So Pi is just one of the great science fiction movies. I'll give you a little hint. It is a time travel.
Oh,
it's
okay.
But it's Darren Aronofsky. And I sort of went, this is a guy to watch. And sure enough, he was. And then another great thought. It could have been on my action list too, because it has 2 or 3 really magnificent action movies, and I had a hard time deciding which list it would go on. But this is a good segue to the action ones, and that is 2006's Children of Men. Have either of you guys seen that?
I have not.
Yeah, I love it.
I have not. No.
Incredibly. Again, the action sequences, the camera work, but also the thought, the intelligence. It's real science fiction. It's not sci-fi. Because we were told when I was going to the big science fiction conventions, the World Science Fiction Conventions, constantly the authors were going, "Don't call it sci-fi." But unfortunately, we couldn't find SF didn't work well enough because everybody would go, "What, San Francisco?" No. So it wound up taking over. But then again, all the movies have become dumber, and also all the ideas have been used up. It's very hard to do new science fiction because Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke and Robert Heinlein and Clifford Simic and Theodore Sturgeon and all the really greats have done them. Nobody's doing it better. Same thing with mysteries, but that's another list. All right, now Frank, science fiction.
You're
action.
done?
Yep.
That's 10? Okay.
That's 10, and you do your 10 action, and then I do my 10
action time.
All right, action time. All right, here we go. So my top 10 sci-fi action film. Number 10, again, Peter Heim's fan, so I have to put Outland in it.
Oh, I've got to stop you. Why do you think I hate this movie? Why do you think I hate it?
It's a stupid story.
It's in the the story is okay. It's all in the as a science fiction writer and as a science fiction fan, it's all in the poster. I'm glad you put up the poster. He's on a space station. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole movie takes place on a space station. What's the one thing you should never bring to a fucking space station?
Gun?
A shotgun.
Shotgun, yeah.
That's insane.
But it's fun.
It's fun.
Stupid. It's incredibly stupid.
But it's high noon in space, Rick.
I understand that, but you have to also again, they didn't know science fiction. They did a Western in space. So they said, we can, just like every other action movie, we can shoot guns on a space station. No, you can't. You'll kill everybody.
I mean, look, it supposedly has the first action sequence in a Hollywood film using Steadicam.
Why should I care about that?
I mean, I just liked it. I mean, I guess, the thing is,
I'll stop talking. But
no, I know.
That's
No, I
obvious.
completely understand. But what I'm trying to say is, like, sometimes you have film that you saw as a kid that really kind of imprint in your mind. I saw this as a kid.
Well, I
loved it.
understand that. But
Hey,
I have to think I was.
I got it on Blu-ray, man. I
was a much
represent.
I have
right?
it on two Blu. I bought two Blu-rays for
I
that,
was much more of a cerebral child. Look at the size of my head.
Cerebral.
which is fine. I mean, I love cerebral stuff too. But I just thought Outland was fun, was gritty. You know,
Yeah.
Sean Connery was great in it.
Again, it's a fun movie, but man, I could not get over bringing a shotgun onto his space station.
So get over. I mean,
I can't.
All right.
can't.
Okay,
Go
number
ahead.
9. Now, number 9, number 9 is The Fifth Element.
Yes.
Again, great world building, great visual, great costumes, great effects, and it introduced me to the greatness that is Chris Tucker. So, yeah.
Kobe.
I can tell you stories about Chris Tucker as told to me by Jackie Chan. But the other thing that I loved about Fifth Element, and the only thing I loved about the Fifth Element, is that it shows you, because there's so many amazing science fiction French comic books called bande dessinée, and that's basically inspired, if not directly based on a bande dessinée story. But the thing is, I would always see these bande dessinées in the Parisian comics shops, which, if you love comic books, you've got to go to Paris and also Japan and go to their comic shops. But then my French friends would say, did you read the dialogue? I go, I don't know enough French to read the dialogue. They say, it's incredibly stupid. All the dialogue, the artwork is spectacular, but all the dialogue is awful. So that's what I thought of The Fifth Element. I mean, it's done by Luc Besson, who's also French. So he's doing the tradition of his stuff.
Right. But I even like his later film, that another sci-fi, the Valentine, the planets of the,
Oh yeah, that's another. But actually, that's very accurate to the actual book, which bande dessinée. But again, very turgid and stupid.
Right. I like that one too. But Fifth Element, I saw it in New York.
Colorful.
Yeah,
it's colorful.
Yeah, I need to get this in 4K, man.
Yes, you should. You need to get it in 4K.
Bruce Willis kicking ass at the end,
and Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
And also Mutipas.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 8 is kind of like a tie, but not really, because they're both by the same director. So I have Inception and Tenet.
Wrong.
Yeah.
And Tenet. Well, you didn't even think of Tenet until I reminded you.
That is true, though. I have to agree. Because Inception, I love it so much. I saw it in the theater 3 times.
Me too.
Wow.
Me too.
Yeah, one of the rare films where I actually went to see more than twice. Tenet, I think it will eventually grow. I mean, I saw when I first saw it, I wasn't very satisfied with it. They kind of grew on me, and I thought.
Well, it's also on my list, and I'll tell you something about it that will hopefully help your next viewing of it.
Okay, but I'm getting an appreciation for Tenet more and more. So
good.
Okay. Number 7. So from here on, these are all series. Okay, I'm just going to group them in series.
Yeah.
So these are not single films.
Right.
Number 7 is a tie, The Predator and the Terminator series. So again,
you see, I just can't. Just because it's part of the series, I can't accept really bad episodes of the series. I love both of these, and they're on my list. But I'm not going to give the bad ones in the series a pass just because they're in the series. I don't do it for James Bond or any series. There are good James Bond movies. There are bad James Bond movies. There are good Terminator movies. There are bad Terminator movies. Bad Predator movies. And so I'm not going to give those a pass.
Well,
but yes,
maybe
there
Frank
are great
likes
ones in
the
both.
bad ones.
Do you like the bad ones, Frank?
Well, The Predator, I like 1, 2, and Prey. I thought those are great.
Yeah, Prey is awesome.
Prey is awesome. And Terminator, I like 1, 2, 4. I actually love Salvation. Don't ask me why. I just find the film.
I'm not going to ask you why.
Okay. and the last one, Dark Fate? The action was fine, but yeah. So okay. And the next, number 6, the Mac series.
Yeah.
Action is just incredible. And of course, the fact that I knew the guy who did action on Fury Road and Furiosa, Richard Norton. I mean, there's wonderful action, wonderful.
I can't forgive Thunderdome.
I love Thunderdome.
Okay.
I just like how it's so different.
I used to hate it. It's grown on me now. I like Thunderdome now.
It's okay.
I liked it the first time.
It's my least favorite of the 4.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
Yeah, I just liked it the first time. I just thought, oh wow, this is different. I like it sometimes when filmmakers surprise me. So
I like it now.
Yeah. All right, so the next 5, So now we're at number 5. So the next 5 candidate, they in a way they kind of like they can be in any order. All right, these top 5, so they can be in any order. And each one of them, anyone can be number 1. So the first Star Wars series,
Oh, jeez.
right, for obvious reason.
Okay.
Number 4, the Alien series. I like all Alien films. Even
that last one made me. I hated the last one.
which one? Covenant?
No, Covenant.
Covenant, yeah.
It was stunningly hateful.
Oh, that ending! I love that ending.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
Look,
All right.
I love Prometheus. Prometheus also grew on me. Hey,
This is Frank's picks. All right, Frank.
yeah, my pick.
All right.
No, I like how different each one of them was, and
I'm just telling people I didn't like.
Right? No, Alien 3, even Alien 3 is a great movie. You have to watch the assembly cut, not the theatrical version.
Yes.
You got to watch the assembly cut for Alien 3 to appreciate how great that movie was. All right. So that's number 4. Number 3, the Transformers series.
Okay.
I love the Michael Bay ones. I don't like the latest 2 that much. In fact, I really hated the last one, the most recent
Good for you.
Beast one, the one with the Beast War. But I love, especially the 2 with Mark Wahlberg. I thought those were great.
I enjoyed those.
Yeah, Age of Extinction and The Last Night, particularly The Last Night. I love The Last Night. Number 2, Matrix. Again, the Matrix series.
Again, all of them?
No, maybe not the last one. I have to say.
Well, the Matrix trilogy then.
The trilogy. Thank you.
Okay.
The Matrix trilogy.
Okay.
Blow away. And I was so lucky to have seen the world premiere of the Matrix at the Warner Brothers studio in Burbank. My friend Mark Walco invited me to go see it. Because that was at that time.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about the film.
Hey, Gilbert.
Nobody knew about the film. So when we were watching it, we realized, wow, this is some great shit. So to be able to discover the greatness of a film at the same time as others, that was a great experience. And then afterward we have the Q&A with like Keanu and Carrie Ann.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I even asked a question like, why you guys hire Yuen Wo Ping? Why not Cheng Siu Dong? I asked, and then they just said, well, because Iron Monkey is our favorite Hong Kong movie. So they have to get Yuen Wo Ping. Right. All right, so the number 1. Then the main reason I chose this as my number 1
my favorite.
The main reason I chose this as my number 1 is sci-fi action is because these were all created out of thin air, right? There's nothing is real, but then he made it real. So to me, this has to be the obvious, choice. For number 1, because nothing was real, but he made it so real. And this is, of course, the Avatar series. Well, so far I only have 2 films, but. Yeah, I just can't wait to see the rest of the.
Yes, you can wait. You're waiting right now.
I know you're about to say that. But, I just thought this is a great achievement in terms of visuals, in terms of design. Effects and stuff, and like the whole world building, whole world created out of thin air, all in the computer environment. Nothing is real. To me, that was just I was endlessly impressed. So that's my number 1. Yeah.
All right,
excellent, very good. By the way, I'll tell you why they didn't get Cheng Si-dong. Because he wasn't malleable. Yuen Wo Ping, I talked to Yuen Wo Ping about this. I said, why don't you take over when you come here and show them the way they should be doing it? He goes, no, they hired me. I'll do whatever they tell me to do. Cheng Si-dong would not do that. That's why they didn't hire.
Okay.
There's a lot of instances of that I've gotten talked to the Hong Kong stars about, where it's like, oh yeah, Stephen Fung with that Into the Badlands. But anyway, enough of that. Okay. Now my turn.
All righty.
Ready?
Do you want to do your honorable mentions first before we get to the...
No, I don't care.
Okay, I'll bring it up anyway.
Okay. Well, War of the Worlds was an honorable mention, as was Wall-E.
Yes.
Because Wall-E is my kind of movie where that's the way. If it has humans in the movie, I want them to be humans. I don't want them to be computer, but when it's animation, I don't have a problem. So those are the ones I like better.
Quick thoughts on the War of the Worlds remake with Tom Cruise.
Not very good.
Okay.
I thought it ended quickly too.
Yeah, I wish it ended quicker.
Oh,
all right. I'm
it's
doing these in
time.
chronological order as I saw them,
as
I was growing. Number one, Star Wars. Not the whole series, Star Wars. And The Empire Strikes Back. To my mind, along with Rogue One, the best movies in the series.
Oh, Rogue One's fantastic.
Yeah. Those are the 3 best movies.
Yes.
I mean, in fact, this book was supposed to come out before Return of the Jedi. And then they said, no, we're going to hold up the publication until you can see Return of the Jedi. And the last chapter of this, the afterword in this book, is Return of the Jedi. And I remember seeing Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back and thinking to myself, oh my gosh, the third one is going to be the third movie in the trilogy is going to be incredible, astonishing, amazing, because Lucas set up all this stuff. He set up, he had, I was picking up all the clues. I was picking up all the little red herrings. So the third one I knew was going to be astonishing because Yoda was saying, no, there is another, and all these other setups.
Right.
And then I see Return of the Jedi.
Oh, man.
And all the setups are thrown out the window. They're not even addressed. And I'm going, what the F, man? It should have been at the end. The other should have been Leia. She should have shown up at the end as the other, because when Darth is about to destroy, or the Emperor is about to destroy Luke, she should have showed up. They would have done it together. And also, there was so much wrong with that third one.
No, I was so disappointed with it. And also,
go ahead.
And also, my ending was spoiled when we were waiting in line. Just remember there was a time when you still wait in line to get into the movie theater.
Yeah.
I was waiting in line, and then this father and son just came out from the last showing. And then the son, they're walking up our line, right? Because they're leaving. And the son just yelled out, "Dad, why did Darth Vader have to die?"
Oh, no way.
Well, that
sucks.
I don't care about that as long as the movie's good. And the movie wasn't good, so it didn't bother me.
The movie wasn't good.
I saw Star Wars. I was going to the University of Bridgeport. I was living in this wonderful little house with everybody in the house. It was 3 stories, like 6 apartments, and we were all University of Bridgeport students. One of the great, with Thanksgiving coming up next week, I was reminded of the great Thanksgivings I've had all over the world. And one of the great ones was in this house, right off of campus, where we didn't eat until 11 p.m. because the turkey had to cook, but we were having an amazing time. So with this gang, it was premiering, and I said, let's go, let's all go. So we all got on the train because we were within walking distance of the Bridgeport train station. We all got on the train. We went into New York. We went to the Lowe's Astor Plaza where it was showing. We went to the second show. We didn't get there in time for the first show, and they started showing the movie at like 8 in the morning. So we got in for like the 10 a.m. show, and they put us online inside the theater, and we heard everything because we were like first online, so we were in the front of the line. So we heard the movie before we saw it, and we were getting more and more excited because the sound design in that movie was astonishing. And then we went in, we were in the middle of the theater, in the center of the thing. Again, big theater. I don't know if you've been to the Lowe's Astor Plaza on Times Square. It was just a great experience. I recognized the worms from Dune. I recognized Flash Gordon. I recognized everything he borrowed from. It didn't matter. I knew that he was basing the final battle on not Dunkirk, the Dam Busters World War II movie. But it didn't matter because he was giving it all new life. Just so much fun. I mean, Harrison Ford's. He made up almost all his own dialogue.
He shot first, by the way.
Of course he did. I saw that. We saw that clearly.
Yeah, we saw that back in. I saw that back in '77. He shot first.
That's right.
And then Empire Strikes Back, samurai film, very clearly a samurai film, with one of the great samurai sword fights of cinema.
Yes.
Which again, the follow-up fight in Return of the Jedi was gravely disappointing. So there you go. So that takes care of Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. Road Warrior and Fury Road.
Hey, my two favorites.
Yeah, exactly. The two best. I liked Mad Max, but it didn't compare to Road Warrior. I liked Thunder. I tolerated Thunderdome. Didn't compare to Fury Road. And those were both really. And again, the action design on all these movies so far were special, were revolutionary, changed things, inspirational, kept moving. Again, my attitude about, if you take the visuals out, if the movie still holds up, then it's a great movie. Here, if you see the fights and you're able to understand character and plot through the fighting is not just wasted movement and doesn't exist to fill time. It fills time. The action exists to give you more information and feed your brain as well as your eye, and also to make you feel something. Most of the action today, as people who watch the action film Autopsy know, that I feel most of it is empty movement, and that it doesn't make you feel anything. It just fills time. These action movies added to the mental experience as well as the visual experience.
And this made for a great Versus episode too. If you guys go back and watch that one, that was epic.
That was
great. Forgot about Versus.
And then number 3 was Terminator and Terminator 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
None of the other Terminators. None of the other Terminators. These were both, and it was like Terminator 1 was really good, and then Terminator 2 doubled down. Made it better, made it stronger, made him a hero. And also, all my viewers know that I prefer heroes to villains. So the fact they made him a hero is because I was at Terminator going, gee, I wish they had made him a hero. And then listened to me and made him a hero.
Two classics.
And it was just great. Then 4, we get to the great action.
Yes.
Aliens, one of the great action movies of all time. Again, doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down. Made it into a war movie, and a war movie with great humanity, and again, incredibly strong female characters. Yeah. And as much as I appreciate that you liked Alien 3, Frank, I will never forgive them for killing Newt and the other one at the start.
I don't know. I thought it was fine. I remember.
Of course you did, but I didn't.
Because I thought it was again different.
Well, also I also know the story behind it. I also had met Ronald Shusett. I met the producers and the writers, and I also knew the story that they used that 20th Century Fox used Alien 3 to stop women from getting a toehold in action movies. Because Alien 2 comes out and Thelma and Louise comes out, and suddenly all the racists and sexists in Hollywood say, well, we've got to do something to keep them from getting, we don't want them to get a toehold. So they created a bunch of movies with women as the action stars, and they designed each of the movies to fail. And Alien 3 failed originally because they hired Fincher, and Fincher could have saved it, but they undercut him in the editing room as well. Yeah. And so, there's no way I could like that movie considering I knew what they did to the movie. But Aliens, awesome
classic.
Sauce.
Oh yeah.
Then again, Jurassic Park.
One of the greatest theatrical experiences for a young samurai.
Yeah.
Especially back then when I didn't see there weren't. It's not like today where there's 5 billion trailers. Yeah. There's trailers before the trailers start. There's 8 billion TV spots. So I didn't really see anything. And they were like, "Hey, you want to go see Jurassic Park?" I was like, "What the hell is that?" So imagine going to see that and it just.
I remember it was loud.
And also, this was the birth.
This was the first DTS movie.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And it was still the best.
Oh, yeah.
It's still the best because they were trying to make it look real. They weren't trying to say, look what we can do with a computer. They didn't want you to think about the computer for a second. It was just like, there's a real fucking dinosaur on screen. Everything about that movie was, and also, same year as Schindler's List. Steven Spielberg, while he was waiting for something on Schindler's List, made this. And it was just like, again, awesome first-time experience. The next, Matrix. Keanu Reeves does not know Kung Fu. There's a moment in the movie, of course, where he looks at them and he goes, I know Kung Fu. But if you notice the little disc that they put into the machine to teach him, it said karate on it.
It also says Mantis. If you go back and watch it.
Well, no, they may have changed that because when I saw it, it just said karate.
I could have sworn I saw drunken boxing too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, drunken Mantis. I mean, I definitely remember Mantis.
Something like that.
They put that in afterwards. It's the same way. It's the same way they took Burt Kwok out of Goldfinger. When I saw Goldfinger, Burt Kwok was in it, and then when I saw one of the reissues, he wasn't in it. They used the computer to digitally change that.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, he was great. Keanu Reeves had bad balance. Lawrence Fishburne had bad balance, but the movie itself, again, revolutionized.
I told you.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, Inception.
Wrong.
Just amazing action, mind candy, eye candy, and again, it had the ending where it doesn't matter what you think. You know, is it real? Is he in the fantasy still? It doesn't matter. It was a statement about life. Life is but a dream. It could be real. This could be real. This could be fake. We don't know. Inception was just, again, a wonderful mind and eye candy movie. The combination of the two, just tremendous. Then next, Predator and Predator Prey only. Not the other ones. Just those two.
Oh, two are fantastic.
And if they're doing the one in World War I, I'm hoping that will be good.
That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing. And no, I want to do a samurai version.
That would also be awesome.
Yes.
If again it has the same director and they do it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I loved about Predator Prey is again made the female the star, and it also made a female act female. She wasn't copying her big brothers. She was, and they were making fun of her for the very reason why she succeeded at the end, because she used her brain. She wasn't trying to prove how tough and badass she was. She was trying to prove how smart and effective she was, and she does. And of course, I love that.
All right.
Then the next two, in terms of, again, these were astonishing. These were my last great theatrical experiences. I haven't had another great theatrical experience since these two movies. To hear everybody gasp and see everybody cry in the first one.
Was great.
I saw Infinity War twice, and I love the fact that they cried. Both audiences I went to cried at the same time, and everybody. And then Endgame. Oh my God, I saw that 4 times.
Damn.
And not only did they cry at the same time, they laughed, they cried, and they cheered, all in unison as one big family. And again, I've said this on the show several times. The fact that Marvel, Feige, and Disney pulled that off made 22 movies that built upon each other and ended with the most successful one of all time at the time. And also created a movie that was living proof of why you should go to movie theaters and see this with people. It proved that. And the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences not only doesn't award it for that incredible accomplishment that they say they're dedicated to, that Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola are always saying, you should go to the movie theaters. And Endgame showed you why you should go to movie theaters. Not only did they not award it, they didn't even mention it. In fact, Scorsese and Coppola both denigrated it. Both said, this is crap. And I'm going, this is living proof of what you guys are trying to do. Your latest movie didn't do it, Marty. So again, astonishing experience in the theaters. Now,
I just want to quickly say the reason I didn't include any Marvel movies on my list is because I treat them more as superhero or comic book movies.
Sure, yeah,
so that's fine. It's not like I don't like any of them. I love
but
them.
But as far as I was concerned, this was clearly science fiction. It had aliens.
You could do both. Yeah,
of course. And
Well,
and
like with the, I love the Mad Max movies, but they weren't on my list because I consider them post-apocalyptic films.
Well,
So
there you go.
it works both ways. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, Captain America, I wouldn't put in science fiction. Iron Man, I probably would. But even so, since we had these two, and it was everybody all at once, and it was a spectacular emotional experience as well as a visual experience, I had to include them. But then the final one.
Give me a second.
Let me, because am I going to say it?
I clicked on the wrong one. Hold on.
The same. It's basically the same as Loki, and that is Tenet. Here's the deal: Christopher Nolan loves movies. He loves entertainment films. He loves art movies, but he also loves entertainment movies. And there are two entertainments that he loves above all, and he has been putting little James Bond scenes. There's a wonderful homage to On Her Majesty's Secret Service in Inception. He does an entire section allowing Tom Hardy to audition for the role of James Bond in Inception. It's in the snow. It's up on the mountaintop. It's On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And I'm watching this movie, and I sort of went, oh my God, no. As the movie goes on, going, oh my God, no. Because I think between the three of us, who's the one person who has seen every single Doctor Who episode? It's not you guys. It's me. I was one of the first professional writers, who promoted Doctor Who in America. In Future Magazine and in Starlog Magazine, I said, you got to watch this amazing science fiction show from England. And my first Doctor was the third Doctor. I got to meet him, and I've been meeting those guys ever since. The end of this movie, throughout this movie, there are all sorts of little winks and nods, and like Christopher Nolan is going, look at this, this is right out of Doctor Who, and I'm sort of going, oh my fucking God. The end of the movie, the last 15 minutes, he takes an entire sequence verbatim from the Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi era of Doctor Who. This Tenet is Christopher Nolan's Doctor Who movie. And I went, Well, Sean, I should show you the picture of me and John Pertwee together. It's just great. We're getting along great. This is Doctor, and what's awesome about Loki, it's not really Loki until the very end, the episode you haven't seen yet, Frank. Up until that, it's Doctor Who-ky.
Yeah, no, yeah. I had the Doctor Who. I can feel that.
They had everything but the TARDIS. And that last, I think you've seen the episode where he goes, it's not about what, it's not about where. He actually says it. It's about who. Yeah. And I went, yes, it is about who. So Tenet is a Doctor Who movie.
So, wow, Tenet was on both of you guys' lists. Well, now I'm curious if I should go back and give it another shot. Because I didn't even finish it.
Also understand that it's a Doctor Who.
I was like, I'm done with this.
Watch the new Doctor Who, because what they're doing with the new Doctor Who is they're rebooting it.
Okay.
And the next episode, they're bringing back 10 as 14 to right a wrong that they should have taken care of. And I'm hoping he rights all the wrongs.
Right.
And then when the new guy starts, they're calling it season 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Season 1?
Yeah, season 1, not season 31.
Okay. Well, that's going to be on Disney Plus on the 21st.
Right.
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
So, on the 25th, they're doing the first new episode with the 14th Doctor.
Oh, I thought it was the 21st. Right. Is it the 25th?
No, it's the 25th, I believe.
Right.
But I'll watch it on the 21st. So that's that. Yes.
This was a blast. Both of you guys' list was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I kind of had to bootleg my list, but I have a lot of my favorites on there. You know what it is with the lists. 5, 6, 8 months from now, we do this again, I'll probably have different movies on
Somebody
there.
said they want us to do a fantasy.
They do. And a Kung Fu one. They do.
And a Kung Fu one. And for me,
I'm down.
Do a mystery one. I'd love to do a mystery.
Sure. Why not? Why not? But this was a blast. Always talking cinema with these two amazing gents. Follow them in the description box below. That's right. Follow Rick and Frank. Don't forget The Contract. That's right. Go to the Indiegogo. Click on the link. Support it. Let's make an action movie together. But this was a lot of fun. So let us know in the comments below, for those of you that are going to be watching this not live, let us know your top 10 lists, sci-fi films, and action films.
Do you have the piece of me? Do you have the piece of me clip?
Oh, hold on one second.
Yeah, do the piece of me clip.
Oh yeah, gotta put that in there. Here we go.
Yeah.
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
Oh, you want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You got it!
Get a piece of Rick.
It's all on Tai Chi Alchemy. All my posters, all my collectibles, all my stuff.
It's in the link below too.
Oh, Flurkin! Look, a Flurkin!
Flurkin! Goose!
Flurkin!
Goose!
This is our channel mascot. This is Gizmo here. Yes.
Yay!
Yeah, he's been trying to say hello to everybody. But yeah, this was a blast. Let us know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, at 5:30, before this went live at 6, we had a whole bunch of filmmakers, actors, and movie enthusiasts tell us their own video. In the video, their favorite sci-fi film. So make sure you guys watch that as well. All right, guys. Keep watching movies.
Higher, further, faster, man.
Yeah, keep watching movies. Enjoy life, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.